Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about the history of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a psychotic condition where patient experience extreme positive and negative symptoms, symptoms like hallucinations, delusions, and disorganized speech, disorganized behavior, and negative symptoms like restricted affect, etc. So now today we will just check what are the historical contribution in schizophrenia. So when we talk about the historical contribution of schizophrenia, we cannot forget one name, that is Emil Kraepelin. Kraepelin translates Morel's demens precoce into dementia precoce, a term that emphasized the change in cognition, which is we call it as otherwise dementia, and onset, which is uh, mentioned as precox of the disorder. Patients with dementia precox were described as having a very long time of deteriorating course and the clinical symptoms of hallucinations and delusions. Kraepelin distinguished these patients from those who underwent distinct episodes of illness, alternating with the periods of normal functioning, which he classified as having manic and depressive psychosis. Another separate condition called paranoia was characterized by persistent persecutory delusions. Persecutory delusion is somewhere people think that others are trying to harm them. So these patients lacked the deteriorating course of dementia precoce and the intermittent symptoms of manic and depressive psychosis. That was his contribution towards this particular history. Now, another figure which we cannot forget when we talk about schizophrenia is that Ewan Bleuler. Bleuler coined the term schizophrenia, which earlier actually called as dementia precox. So he basically replaced the term dementia precox. Dementia precox was the term which is given by Emil Kraepelin. So in the literature, so he chooses the term schizophrenia to express the presence of schisms among thought, emotions, and behavior in patients with this particular disorder. Bleuler also stressed that Kraepelin's concept of dementia precoce and schizophrenia need not have a deteriorating course. This term often misconstrued, especially by the lay people, to mean split personality. Split personality is now it is called as dissociative identity disorder, which is completely different from what we call it as schizophrenia. So this was one aim of Bleuler when he named schizophrenia as it is. Another important person in this history of schizophrenia is Ernest Kreschmer. So Kreschmer compiled the data to support the idea that schizophrenia occurred more often among persons with asthenic, slender, lightly muscled physique, athletic or dysplastic body type, rather than among persons with uh, pike neck. Pike neck means very short and stocky physic body type. So he thought the pike neck were most likely to incur bipolar disorder than schizophrenia. So his observation, though, might seem very strange, but so uh, but these were the earliest research which conducted in the field, and because of these personalities involved in the research of schizophrenia, it inspired a lot of people, or maybe a lot of people, to continue the research process. Another name in another major name in field of schizophrenia is nothing but no Kurt Schinter. Schinter contributed a description of first-rank symptoms, and he stressed were not specific for schizophrenia and were not to be rigidly applied, but were useful for making diagnosis. He also emphasized that the patients who showed no first rank symptoms, the disorder could be diagnosed exclusively on the basis of second rank symptoms and otherwise typical clinical appearance. So, this was his contribution. Now, coming into the understanding the contribution of Carl Jaspers. Jaspers is a psychiatric and also he's a philosopher, great philosopher as well. He also played a major role in developing existential psychoanalysis. So he was interested in the phenomenology of mental illness and the subjective feeling of patients with mental illness. His work paved the way towards trying to understand the psychological meaning of schizophrenic signs and symptoms, such as mainly he talked about delusions and hallucinations. And and the last but not the least, another major contribution to the field of research about schizophrenia, that is Adolf Meyer. Meyer, the founder of psychobiology, known as this founder of psychobiology, he viewed schizophrenia as a reaction to the life stresses. So it was a maladaptation that was understandable in terms of patient's experience. But Mayer's view, was represented in the nomenclature of the 1950s, which referred to schizophrenic reactions. So this was a small history of schizophrenia and the development of research, different research contributions in the field of schizophrenia. With that, this small lecture ends here. Thank you.